Hello, everyone. Think about Jamaica. What do you see? Beautiful beaches, hot sun, palm trees, and reggae music. It is a tropical island. The temperature is always around 30 degrees Celsius. It never snows. But today, we will talk about four Jamaican men who went to the Winter Olympics. How did this happen? In 1987, two Americans were living in Jamaica. They were watching a traditional Jamaican pushcart race. Pushcarts are small carts with wheels. People push them down a steep hill very fast. One American looked at the race and said, "Wow, that looks exactly like bobsledding." Bobsledding is a winter sport. You push a heavy sled on ice and slide down a mountain. He had a crazy idea. "Let's make a Jamaican bobsled team." He went to the Jamaican Summer Olympic runners. He asked them, "Do you want to go to the Winter Olympics and slide on ice?" The runners looked at him and laughed. "Are you crazy, man? Ice? Snow? I am not going to freeze to death." Nobody wanted to do it. The idea was a joke. Because the athletes said no, they went to the Jamaican army. A helicopter pilot named Dudley Stokes stepped forward. "I like speed. I will drive the sled," Dudley said. Soon, three other strong army men joined him, Devin, Michael, and Chris. They had a team, but they had a huge problem. They didn't have a bobsled and they didn't have ice. How do you practice a winter sport in a hot summer country? They built a fake bobsled. It was basically a heavy bathtub with wheels. They took it to a concrete road. "Okay, guys, ready, set, go," the coach shouted. They pushed the heavy sled on the concrete. "Push, push, get in." They practiced every day under the hot sun. They were sweating. Their knees were bleeding from falling on the hard ground. People in Jamaica watched them and pointed their fingers. "Look at those fools. What are they doing?" But Dudley told his team, "Let them laugh. We are going to the Olympics." In 1988, the Winter Olympics were held in Calgary, Canada. The Jamaican team arrived. When they walked out of the airport, the wind hit their faces. It was minus 25 degrees Celsius. Devin looked at the ground. "What is this white stuff everywhere?" he asked. It was snow. It was the first time in their lives they saw real snow. They were freezing. They wore 5 layers of clothes. When they arrived at the Olympic Village, the other teams looked at them. The strong teams from Germany, Switzerland, and Russia couldn't believe it. "Jamaica has a bobsled team? Is this a hidden camera show?" The Jamaicans didn't even have a real bobsled. They didn't have money to buy one. But the other athletes saw their passion. The American team felt sorry for them and lent them an old, spare bobsled. Now they were ready to race. The races began. Everyone thought the Jamaicans would be terrible. Everyone thought they would crash on the first turn. But when the light turned green, the 4 men pushed the sled. They were incredibly fast. They were army men, so they were very strong. They jumped into the sled. They were flying down the ice track at 120 kilometers per hour. The crowd was shocked. Look at them go! They were not a joke anymore. They were real athletes. The media loved them. The fans loved them. Whenever they walked around the Olympic Village, people cheered. They brought reggae music to the freezing cold mountains of Canada. It was the final run, the most important race. The Jamaican team was doing great. They were going very fast, maybe too fast. Suddenly, on a sharp corner, Dudley lost control of the sled. The sled hit the wall. It turned over. Crash! The heavy bobsled flipped upside down. The 4 men were trapped inside as the sled slid down the icy track on its side. Screech! Their helmets were scraping the hard ice. It was a terrifying sound. The stadium was completely silent. The music stopped. The fans stopped breathing. The sled finally stopped sliding. Medical teams ran to the track. Everyone thought they were dead. But then, a hand came out of the sled. Dudley slowly stood up. Then Devon. Then Michael. Then Chris. They were hurt, but they were alive. The medical team brought a stretcher. Get on. We will carry you to the hospital. But Dudley shook his head. No, he said. We started this race. We have to finish it. Dudley looked at his team. They nodded. The 4 men walked to the broken sled. They lifted it onto their shoulders. They started to walk down the ice track, step by step. They were going to cross the finish line on their own feet. The silence in the stadium broke. One person started clapping, then 10 people, then thousands of people. The whole stadium stood up. They cheered, they cried, they clapped loudly. The Jamaicans didn't win a gold medal. They didn't win any medal. But when they crossed that finish line carrying their sled, they won the respect of the whole world. They showed us that a true champion is not the one who always wins. A true champion is the one who falls down but gets back up and finishes the race. Thank you for listening to this beautiful story. See you in the next episode.